Good morning, everybody. Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Eve, 24th of December, and the last of our tiles for our Advent picture. Now, by now, I'm sure you can sort of see what it is, but I'd like to think that I've left one last little sort of surprise. And of course, we're going to address this final piece today. Now, as we are aware, we've done all of this in pencil because we wanted to make sure that we got it right and in terms of shape and all the rest of it. So I'm going to sort of have a look at this and do this bit in pencil, take my time and make any amendments I need to, and then we can go from there and put it in pen. So if you're ready, so let's have a look. I've just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's have a look. I'm going to start in the middle and just remind myself what I'm doing here. I'm going to put that back in because, you know, you might have been leaning on it a little bit and it might not quite be there anymore. That's how that works. Okay, so in we go with that. So I was counting these because, let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so there's 10 there. I think we want a few more than that. So what I'm going to do is slightly amend these because I want to have, let's have a look. One, make them a bit thinner there, a bit thinner there, and a little bit there. This is why I remember we did it all in pencil. So it gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna get 10 in. All right, so that sort of starts that bit in there. And looking at this, see, we've got a bit of a, it's quite big there compared to that one. So I'm going to change that one ever so slightly. And let's rub out that bit there. Okay. And then here, look, I can, let's go a little bit thinner with that one. And I've got space there, look for another. Okay. So that sort of gives me a little bit of a, let's have a look. They need to be maybe a bit taller. So I'm going to put that in around there. So each one has got its own little space. Needs to be a little bit. Right, this is why we said, isn't it, we were going to do all of it in pencil. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Carol. I'm not looking at messages so much. I'm looking at what I've got in front of me. I'm trying to work out where this goes. So, okay, they're sort of similar in size. So I'm happy with that bit. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is put this in with a pen. So I can be absolutely certain I'm happy with it. Okay, so I'm just looking at those there a little bit. That one needs to go that way. Okay. It's always a little bit weird, isn't it, when you've actually done something and in little bits, and then you've got to come on in and put them back in and slot the last few in. I'll sort of bring that in there. Okay. And then I'm going to put these petals in. And then we can work out what's going on around them. Okay. So working from, you know, each edge, putting them in. And of course, if you want to do the rest and do it all in pencil first, I just think once I'm happy with a piece, I'm going to come in with a pen and I'm going to put that bit in. Because then we know it's done and sorted. And then any rubbing out we can do. Well, again, I'm not going to worry about that. I do need that bit. Stick that back in place. It's great using low tack tape when you actually want to use it to stick something down. It doesn't always want to work. So far we've got those little shapes in. So across the top of each one, we've got a loop, and then we've got this shape with the bubbles in, like so. Okay, so same thing, I'm going to do that on each one, a loop, and then like a leaf shape. Let's go in a little bit more now for this, just so you can get to grips with what I'm doing here. I'm systematically putting things in that I know are going to help me with fixed points in a short while. So that's my aim. And I'm going in with pen only when I'm confident. See, I've got one here, look, and it's not in the same place. So really there's a loop there, look, and then it goes there. So you can see how working it from one sort of little tile to the other, that's not quite there. So I'm going to remove that one, don't want it. And then here, look, another one. So there's going to be a loop, and then there's going to be part of one of those into there. And again, oh, see, we didn't really do these pieces here, did we? We decided we were going to leave them because, of course, this is tile 24, so, but we didn't put all the detail in. Okay, and then this one. It's a little bit slightly different size, but that's okay. So I did it wrong way around. That's because I was talking at the same time. But that's okay. And then this one, the loop. And then we go with that shape. All right, let's have a little look at that. Okay, let's just move out a little bit. Okay. So then I can draw this line between each one. So it's sort of a straight-ish line between each one. Let's go back and do that one again. And that one. And then see, I'm going in between that one there. So I'm gonna follow the shape rather than try and keep it in. And there it's going to be not quite a bit in a sense, but that's okay. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, what am I doing? That's okay. To there. To that one. Okay. To that one. Okay. So being that I put that there, it's not a problem. Let's have a look now. See, I'm going to have to crisscross them over. You don't have to. I'm going to have to do it though because I've sort of got two lines going on. So I'm putting like a cross in between the two. Just to change that shape a little bit. So not quite the same, but it's sort of giving me a little bit of a different design there, just because I added that line in pen. That's okay. So here, look, I'm gonna go up to that one. So we've kind of got crosses in between everyone. I do apologise if I've confused you there. It's one of those things. If I've got crosses in each one, it sort of gives me something to work to. Okay, as long as we've got something drawn in there. So let's remove those bits from around the outside for now. And I'm going to get rid of those bits on the inside too, just so we can clean it up a little bit. Okay, that's a bit better. So looking at my loop here, I'm going to come in and put a loop on each side and a loop on each side. Okay, so as long as you've got something that's sort of a coherently like working its way around the shape, please don't think it's got to be the same as mine. Okay, see my loop there? It's sort of got a little bit confused, but I can still come in. Don't know what I've done there. I can sort that out at some point. As long as I've got something that looks a little bit similar. It sort of should have gone to there, but it doesn't matter. Round we go. So I'll put in these little shapes in. Okay, so I've sort of got loops around. Yeah, I know there's an extra line in there somewhere, but honestly, I'm not going to worry about that because we might not see it all anyway. So in the centre bit here, I'm just going to put a piece of paper on there so I don't lean on it too much for now. And I'm going to create a little line on either side, like that. A line on either side. Okay, so these are in really the petals. We've not put anything in these before, so I'm going to come in and do that. And just finishing off those shapes a little bit there. And there we go. So from the point, go to each one. Turn it round. From the point down to each one. Okay. And again, if you would rather do all this in pencil first, that's fine. Excuse me, but I'm rubbing bits out as I go, so it's just makes life a little bit easier. Let's put some little lines in there. And I'm going to sort of see how it looks doing each other one first. And I can't do that because I've got 11, so I'm going to have to do more. There we go. I did say we're going to take a little bit longer over this today. And then this next one. And just slightly curving those lines, just so it sort of fits in with the shape we've got going on there. And same here. And there. Oops. As it crosses those tiles, you know, just take care. It'll go over. On this one. As we go. And then this one. So it starts to build a little bit of detail up in the inside there. So this is what we're wanting to look at, this bit here. So I was going to put a row of bubbles around the inside here, where we've got something to work to. And it's great if you've got a bit of a wavy line around there because you can clean it up with that a little bit. Okay, so that gives us that section. So then we've got these shapes here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with a pencil just for now, and just to give me the idea where this is, I'm going to sort of pencil it in. It's between those two. And then here, look, it's between those two. Between those two. And those two. And those two. It'll be those two. See, so this one is a little bit high. So it's going to be those two. That one's fine. Those two. See, that's not particularly straight, so it's going there. And that one's going between there. Okay, so we've got those lines in. So then if I put those ones in now, so they're mostly okay in place. It's got a slight angle to them, sort of coming up and out like that, and that, and that. Okay, and then put like the line on the top there. Just do this by eye. Don't worry too much if it's not an exact sort of same size. We knew that that was going to be the thing, but you know, make them look a little bit interesting. There you go. Okay, So before I do any more of this bit here, I'm going to come and put this flower in. And here we go, we've got this sort of section here. And then this one comes around here. Okay, we've got this leaf. And we've got a little line there. So I know that that's going to sit in place. That's absolutely fine. I'm going to put that in with a pen. Just so I know that that's going to stay put. That one there. And of course that leaf. I can bring that in there now because I know that's right. Okay. So let's look at the rest of this. I mean, we've now got in between each of these little shapes, there's a little triangle. So what I'm going to do is put the triangle shape in between each of these. So it's going to sit there, and there, and there. See, so some of them are a little bit out. So you're going to get one there, one there, one there. And if I look along here, see, I know where the top point is. Oh, sorry. Let's bring that in a bit so you can see it. All right, so here, look, I've got this line. It's going up, and that's the top of my little triangle shape. So it's sort of in line with that. Let's do that again. Okay, in line. Same again, look. In line. And again. In line. And again. In line. You see? All the way along. So you've got this sort of guide to help you. That's why we put it in pen, because we knew it was going to be a permanent fixture there. And then here, look, we've got this one going up there, in line. Up here, in line. And this one, we're not going to see that one. Okay, so let's have a little look at that. So we've got these in place, we've got those triangles in place. So you see some of them were a little bit out compared to what we've got going on in the middle. So it's okay, that's why we did it in pencil. So now we've got this sort of line coming from the point here to the next point. See how it's giving it a bit of a curve? So this one, again. So I'm just going to press on it with a little bit more pencil. See, that's going to there. So we can see how that's working. So it's just a little bit higher than each point, but it's bringing that curve in. You see? A little bit higher, look, bring the curve. Ooh, a little bit tricky, that one. It's in between a few tiles. And here, look. And of course there. And then around this end here, we've got sort of, it's going from the top there to the top there. Okay, and top there to top there. So this is why I say we did this bit in pencil all around. So we've got that kind of a shape going on. Okay, let's have a little look at that. All right, so this is a little bit further out. Excuse me, that I knew that when I drew it, but that's okay. We could leave it and sort it. So let's sort this little bit out then. I'm going to draw these bits in pen. So whichever way it sort of works, whether you want to draw the whole shape first or whether you want to draw just a little bit of it and then come around and do the next bit. I know they're slightly different sizes. I don't want to worry about that. It's fine. And you make any little adjustments if you want to as you're going around. Got those in. Around again. So you're going to get a little bit of that one, look, the looks of it. Let's put that line back in. And then here. Oh, bless me. Sneezes this morning? What's that about? Along. I always used to get a cold when I finished teaching, you know, in school. Always, every holiday, even in the summer. I needs to sort of stop for a little while and then bang, cold. I don't know what's going on there. And last one in. There it is. Okay, so now I'm happy with that. I can put my triangles back in. So for each one, you know, focus just on those little sections at a time. Don't try and sort of look at the rest of it. We knew we were going to have to make some amendments. Okay, let's have a quick sip. And one in there. See, that looks a little bit off. I'm going to sort of move it there a bit. And that one. And then that one. Okay. And then I'm going to put these lines back in. So curve them round. And that sort of gives me that shape. Let's continue it. Look, it's going to be from there to there. Look, again, I'm going across tiles there, so just take your time with it. Just be careful. Stop and start if you need to. Into that one. And into that one. Okay. So I'm going to just gently remove any little bits of pencil inside there now. Just making sure that your pen's dry, of course, because it's just going to confuse things having bits all over the place. So let's remove them. Okay, and then we can look at what we've got and where we need to go next. See, the little bit's gone. A little bit clearer now, isn't it? See, that bit's in the wrong place. Okay, so we're looking like we've got something similar to what I've got there. Okay, so we've got this lovely little shape going on. So, oh, sorry, with the camera at the same time as using the rubber. So let's have a look. In these little sections in the middle here, I'm going to put a little shape inside, like so. And then little ones here. And see how that sort of follows whatever shape you've got there. I'm not trying to, you know, match it to anything in particular. That's, your shapes will probably be better than mine because I did a little bit of a wrong line in that bit somewhere. But that's okay, I don't mind. Along here. You see, they're all slightly different. It sort of gives it a little bit of an air of something, doesn't it? And in there. Okay. And then I'm going to fill each one with some bubbles as we work our way around. So whatever shapes you've got there, get some bubbles in. And again, it's giving it that sense of more detail. So, you know, if there is a line that's not slightly where you want it, doesn't really matter. You can work it wherever you want to go. So hopefully everything's sorted today and you can have a nice chill out and a relax. We're not planning on going anywhere today. We've got a few little bits to do. Ready for tomorrow's shows, and then yeah, early night tonight. Okay, so I'm just filling it with bubbles, working my way around. Of course, we've been thinking about how we're going to sort of finish these off and colour them. And I'm going to stick with monochrome, and I'm going to add a touch of colour to it, just a touch in places. All right, so I'll look at these little shapes here. And I'm going to come in with like a figure, like a loop. Now, don't think when you draw these loops that they have to join in the middle. Or you have to sort of have them even each time. It's going to sort of come around as a loop and then back down and then the loop goes the other way. You see, it doesn't meet in the middle or anything like that. It's always about meeting at that bottom edge. You see? Filling those shapes in. Of course, if you don't want to do that shape, you can do another pattern in there. It's entirely up to you. Whatever works. You see? So, fill whatever shapes you've got there. Notice, because I've got a bit of an angle there, I'm finding it easy to draw the loop outwards first. There we go. And of course, each one I'm starting in the same place. Following it down again. You might, if you're right-handed, see how it sort of meanders around. And again, oh, I've lost a tile somewhere. Oh, it's up there on the other side of the table. That top corner one has sort of come out of place, but that's okay because they only have to hold till today, because I can sort it out now as I want to when I've drawn this bit. Okay, so in there, and the next one. And we sort of continue working it down. You get used to them actually after a little bit, and they start to flow a little bit easier. That one's a little bit tricky. It's over like a few of those tiles. Okay, let's have a look at this. There we go. All right, so we've got that. Happy with that so far. Okay, so our next little bit then, let's just draw that triangle in, is we've got these like curves over the top of each. So again, I'm going to come in and pencil and put those in so I get a feel for where they are. See, that one is going to filtrate those little leafy shapes there. Here, it's going to sit behind. Let me put that tile in place. I need to move that one. And just take that bit of tape off. And that bit, I reckon. Okay, so that's going to go, you see the berries are going to go over the top of that one. And a little one down here, here, and this one. Okay, so we've got those in place. Let's get rid of that bit. And then here, I'm going to put the berries in first, because they're sort of in that place. So now if you've got this in pencil and you think, well, I want my berries to go behind, you can do that, because you can rub out the pencil lines after, but mine are in pen there. So that means I'm going to stick with it. Okay. So putting that curved line in around the edges. And then it's definitely got loops in, so loop in the middle and loops either side. We've done this before many times, so I think you get the idea of that one. Start in the middle, work your way to the sides. First one, then the other. See, that one's going behind. This one you're not going to see as much of it, so you know, if you want to draw that in pencil so you get the shapes first, it's fine. Into this one. Little loops in there. Same the other side. So you can see, get this one, look, it's going through quite a few tiles there, so Just take your time with it. This one. I did go quite way off with that piece. That seems such a long time ago now we drew that. Loops here as well. See, I'm going to have to just take that off and make sure that it's in the right place, because of course I'm wanting to draw loops in there. When I am going to ink each tile, I still want to make sure that they match as much as possible. So coming to this one here, I'm going to have to draw my loops underneath. But again, if you want to do a pencil there so you get the shapes right, you can do that, that's fine. All right, let's have a look at where we're at. Okay, there we go, it's not looking too bad at all. We've got these lovely little shapes and lines going on. I'm just going to thicken that line up a little bit there. And then of course I could come in and fill in these gaps. I'm not going to do that on live right now because it's going to take a little while to do that, but that's what I am going to do all the way around. And if you want to do that as well, or you can put bubbles in there, but I think you get the idea with that. And then of course you could have little lines coming out of each one, like so. And I'm going to put a little dot on the end of each one. See? Let's go in a little bit more. See the difference? So little lines and dots into each of those little petals. So I shall do that all the way around. And then here I'm going to choose, going to thicken up this line. And then this one. And let's do a little bit there. And a little bit there. Let's have a look at that. See how that just giving that a little bit of a thicker line on one part helps to change it a little bit as well. So I'm sort of imagining that the top end of each piece is a little bit thicker than the others. I'm going to see that one. See then look at the top each time. The top's really sort of there, so I did a little bit on both sides. The tops of each gives it a little bit of shape. So it's now really this bit to sort of deal with. We've got some leaves and things going off, but of course they're in a slightly different area because this was further over here. Just going to fill that bit in because then, being that we're working on this section, you can see it a little bit clearer. But I will do that obviously all the way around each piece. Okay. Let's put the lines in as well, just so I'm sort of consistent with what I'm doing with the others. Okay, so that's looking, it's going to bring that piece out, isn't it? And of course there's little bits inside here as well, so let's work on this bit here. So I'm going to come in with pencil just for a moment and put in the leaves and things that I've got. So I know I've got a leaf here, and there's a leaf here, part of one, see? And there's a leaf here. So we've got this gap where this has moved in now that we need to sort of address, which not too much of an issue here. We've got these kind of leaves. So if I come up here and bring another one of those in, so there's my little loop on the top. Put that in that side, and you see it's going to sort of go underneath that shape. And then here, I'm going to bring that out front. So immediately we've filled in a shape there using one of those leaves. Okay, and then let's bring that in. Oh, missed one there. Okay. So there's one of my leaves, one of my areas filled. I can still bring that leaf in there. I've got a leaf there, and I can bring another there. See? Okay, so maybe just another Another one here, just sort of peeking underneath that section there. Okay, so I've got a little row of bubbles there. I don't think I actually need them anymore, so I can get rid of those. And that gives me those sort of shapes. So looking around as well, on this side, you see I've got some of these lovely little hooks and shapes, and they sort of appear in various spaces around the sections. So I think actually it would be quite nice to put one in here as well. So maybe actually get rid of that one and sort of bring one up here. So it's sort of going underneath and behind there. And then another one going underneath and behind there. So it's sort of in keeping with the rest of the piece. So let's come in with a pen and put these bits in now. So let's bring that line in and bobble on the top, the dot. Let's go in a little bit more so you can see where I'm at. There you go. And then I've gone quite large with this one. You know, you could do it a little bit smaller if you wanted and bring 2 in. And it depends on how much space you've got going on there as to what you want to do with it. So let's narrow that out a little bit. And bring those shapes back in. And then let's bring that one in. And there. And while I'm here, I'm going to put this one in. And let's join those little sections to that. And these two. And come on in there. And again, putting these 2 in. These little hooks. Now of course if you didn't want to do this, you could just have some leaves in. You don't have to do the same as me. I'm just looking at the rest of the piece and putting something in that I think is going to look part of it. Okay, and then there's final leaves. Let's just put one in, again slightly changing the angle there into there. Let's have a little look at this. Okay, I'm going to come rub some bits out there in a minute. I'm just going to come in and finish this section off here because we've got more of these little shapes and they're already there in pencil, so I can come straight in and go over it with my pen. And let's do this larger one first. And there, fill those in. So we're all having turkey tomorrow, or do we have a tradition where it's turkey and beef? My dad used to have chicken and beef. He never won. I say he never had turkey. I used to work on a factory floor, and at Christmas they used to give us turkey. We did have turkey for a couple of years. So yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? Let's have a little look at this as a whole piece now, if we can. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we've got this kind of shape thing going on in the middle here. I'm going to remove any little bits of pencil now, just so we can clear it up. I see here, look, there's a little bit of one of those shapes to go in. So, you know, before you rub everything out, just sort of be aware that if there's certain things that you need to add to it as you go in. See, that needs a bit of a stem. Yeah. And then remove any of the pencil you don't need. There's quite a bit in there that we don't need. And of course these, where I've filled it black ink there, I'm going to do the same there. Okay. And sort of get rid of those lines. I know we're going to put some pencil shading in, but it's nice to have a clear sort of shape to work to as such, isn't it? So, okay, so remove that as well, that bit of pencil there. So yeah, once these little bits here are sort of filled with ink, it's going to work together. Again, some little dots in there, see? In there, and in there. So I'm just going to come back to this middle section here and thicken that line up a little bit. So much so, I think I'm going to put a second line in. I'll just zoom in a minute, because we want this to be quite clearly the middle piece. So I'm going to put another line in quite close to the first, like so. Okay. All right. Let's have a look. Do I have? Yes, I've got my brush pen with me. I'm going to fill that bit in with ink, just like that. Now you can choose as well with those stripes, you can choose, and I think I probably will, to actually come in and fill those in as well. So if I start at the bottom edge and then fill every other one in. But again, if you want to do this in a different colour, or if you'd rather not, it's your piece of art. You can do what you like with this, like so. Okay, so that's what I would do all the way around. I'm going to come back and do that in a short while. Let's just rub those bits out down there. So looking at the centerpiece now, and we're almost at 11 o'clock, almost. So I think what I'm going to do is imagine that I've got, I'm going to go slightly off there, put myself a line in. Okay, now this line look is going to this bit here. I'm going to sort of make it a bit more of a rectangle. Let's thicken it up. Let's go in a little bit more, you see. It would be sensible. Let's have a look. Using, excuse me, a thicker pen. So I'm just going to bring my 05 in here. Put that in. Okay, now of course, I'm going to probably thicken up, and put black into those as well, all the way around, you see? But again, I'll do that a little bit later. You get the idea with that, you see how it's starting to fill in. And across the top here, I'm going to put myself a little triangular shape in, give it a little bit more of a point. Fill that in. There we go. Let's come down a little bit so it's just sort of out the way of that shape there. Working my way down here, a little bit of a dot, a couple of dots in there, and then sort of down here I'm going to put myself a little, so I've made just a few little shapes in there. You see? Let's have a look at that. Okay. And then I'm going to come in here as well. Now it's going to sort of go slightly underneath my flower there, but that's okay. Now this time it's going to go to that inside edge. See, I'm imagining it's coming from the middle, so it's a little bit shorter. Okay. Again, a little bit thicker, and put a triangle on the top again. And little dots around. You see? Well, let's finish that bit off there. And there. Change, just shape it slightly as I see fit. Okay. So let's have a little look at how that works. So we've got a nice little clock in the middle there going on, and of course I said I was going to do a little bit of colouring. Goodness me, do you know what, I'm just passing it by. Look what we've done. Look what we've done. I know that was a little bit tricky and it's trying to fit things in, but we've actually got a picture there. Look, it's got all these different flowers and things going on there, and then it's got a clock in the middle. And it's got this lovely design at the bottom. I know that's a little bit out. Don't worry about that. It's just lovely, isn't it? Look at this. And of course, I know, again, a little bit more of black work to do around there, but that's really going to make that stand out. But I wanted to show you a little bit of what I was going to do and how I was going to sort of do it. First things first is deciding what you're going to back it onto. So just wanted to show you here, I've got a range of papers. So let's just zoom out a little bit. You could have it as a working clapmore and it'd look fabulous. So you see, I've got, this is a little bit like almost a greeny grey. And I've got the black. And I've got sort of a more of a white. And then I've got the elite grey. See now, if I put that grey to that one, you see how it looks a bit green? So I don't really want to use green. I'm going to move that one out of the way. And then I've got to decide which of these I'm going to use. Or would I use two colours? Would I have maybe a white and then that one? If I bring this one back in play, you see that it loses the edge. So maybe the black is going to do it. So have a look at colours and sort of determine what you quite want to back it to. Let's have a look at, see, doing the black and the grey. Yeah, you've got that sort of contrast, or you could do grey, then black, black, then grey. So there's a couple of things you could try there. But let's show you how I'm going to finish this a little bit. So, okay, let's pick a piece that's got part of a flower on it, for example. I want one that's got sort of a foot petal. Let's look at this one here. So I'm just going to remove it from its little bit of tape there. Okay. So what I am going to do, and this is going to sound a little bit scary, I'm going to use a bit of black ink, okay, water reactive, a bit of black ink, and I'm going to ink around the edge, like so. Now you notice, because I've said I'm using black ink, it's a little bit scary, but I'm only putting a little bit on, not much at all, okay, not much at all. Now, I didn't really go into shading in the clock because, of course, if you're going to use colour for that, you don't really want to worry about shading. But I'll do a little bit on that in a minute once I've done these. You see, I've got a little bit of ink all around, so it doesn't look as black as you would expect it to. So that's not too bad. You could actually just go down the edges, just sort of darken the edges a little bit. So it just takes that white edge off. So if I then take that one and if I bring the one next to it, which is the one just underneath, you see, and do the same there. So again, I'm going to ink round. So, you know, it doesn't look as sort of dark as you would imagine, does it? Really. Alright, and then if you put the two together, let's have a look. You see it gives that little bit of an edge all around, so it's not so dark. You could do that with a different colour if you wanted to, but just having that little bit of blacking around. Let's get this edge. I could do it with the other. Okay, so that's what I would do with that, and I'm going to do that with all of them. So let's just put that away for a moment and let's have a look. So using just monochromes, so what do I have? Okay, I've got my black, of course, I've got my white pencil, and then I've got all my greys. So I've got three greys, dark, mid and light, and I've got two blues. I've got my deep blue and I've got my summer sky. So first things first, I'm going to just put a little bit of tape across that again, just to hold it in place whilst I do this. And I'm going to start, let's start with a mid grey. I'm looking at our leaf. And now I've already put pencil over the top of it, so really blending it in is not so much of a problem, but you See, going to come in and just lightly cover it. Not all of it, just lightly cover it. Sort of in the middle and down this bottom edge. That's mid-grey. So then if I bring in my light grey, similar thing, so I'm going to work it over these edges, not going, again, completely covering. Not completely covering. Then if I bring in my white, and I'm going to add this on the edge, and that's going to sort of start to blend that in. Let me just go in a little bit closer, you see? So it's starting to merge those colours. So then if I bring in my dark grey, I'm going to put more of this down this bottom edge. Again, working in swirls, just let it do its thing. Then my mid-grey. Now this seems quite a long process, but you find that you'll get quicker with it. The only thing I suppose I'm trying to sort of put forward here is that if you work with all the colours, this is a light grey, and work in, you know, not too heavy, nice light pressure, you'll find you'll get a better coverage, and you will be quite quick with it. I'm going to bring in my black, and I'm going to go back up my line. Now I've brought black in sort of once there's colour already on there, or grey as you want to call it, because then it's a little bit easier to blend with that dark grey. See? So that's how I'm going to work my leaves. I'm going to add those colours together and keep working from one to the other, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Let's just have a look without the sheen on it. So you're getting that kind of effect. So with these shapes, similar thing, I'm going to come in and I'm going to cover that in black first. And then again, I'm going to start with that mid-grey. Okay, there you go, mid-grey. And similar sort of thing. I'll work around the colours. Now you notice as well, when I shaded this, I put some up here, so I'm going to do the same. So wherever I've put my shading previously, that's where my mid-grey is going. Then my light, I'm going to work it in. And in and along. Okay. Then let's put some of this white in. See, starts to bring it together. That's why this white's so important. So let's go a bit of light. So, you know, you can work up the colours, down the colours, start with the mid, go in, but just keep working them together. You can build lots of layers up this way. But because I've put that white in, I've got my highlight in sort of as we keep going. A bit of dark grey. So in this bottom edge. So if you're not sure in terms of colours and how to work it, if you've got one of the how to colour sort of sets that I've done, you can look at that. Certainly the poinsettia one, you can look at that and see how I did it. And that helps. See, this is my light grey again. So you're always building it up and adding those extra colours in. I've got this lovely little white sort of streak there. I'm going to come in with a bit of grey. So because this is a flower, I've got my two blues here as well. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of blue. Again, you know where I originally had those little bits of shading. So add a little bit of light blue. And again over that white. Okay. And you can see, oh no, take it off there. Just see that bit of blue there, see? And then I'm going to bring in my dark blue, and instead of using the black pencil first, I'm going to put that dark blue in. So just sort of up those little shapes a bit. And again, not particularly pressing on. So let's bring that dark grey over the top. that in. And then my mid-grey. So although I've put blue in, it's not sitting on the top surface. It's in there, but it's part of it, not kind of sort of the main thing. So you'll see it, but we don't want it to sort of be really serious blue. It's going to be part of everything else. I'm going to bring my white in and work them in together. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in the black and put my black over the top, just a little bit in that bottom corner there. So if I just take that off, the sheen off, you see? So you've got that little hint of blue, but the grey's coming through as well. It's going to bring my light grey in. You see how it just starts to work together, going around in circles. Yeah. And eventually there's not going to be any of the white left. It's just going to be filled with, I say, colour with colour. Okay, so let's look at that to the rest of the piece. Let's see if I can zoom out a bit. There we go. Ooh, I think that needs to, let's take that bit off. So if I put that back in now, you can see that having that little bit of colour in, see how it's made a difference, and having that bit of inking around the edge has changed it up a bit too. So doing that across the whole piece is going to make a bit of a difference. Doing the centre, now it depends if you're going to go just pencil or you're going to colour it, but let's go with just pencil for now. I'm going to come in and fill in that middle bit, a little bit on there. And then these pieces, a little bit on either side. So I'm only going to do these ones because these are ones I've filled with stripes. And here, look, as normal, a little bit of shape around there. Now I'm not going to do anything in that section, but I am going to fill in these bits all the way around, like so. And then add a little bit underneath each one, like so. Bit of a tortillon. I think, at this point, I think you've had 24 now little tiles, and we've shaded each one. I think you've got the idea of what you're going to do and where it's going to go. So what I do now really is just sort of a little hint as to where it can go, but you can do your own thing with it. You see, just sort of shading around that little bit. Just giving it a bit of a shape to work on. You see? As we go around a little bit, maybe inside those triangles. And probably just a little bit around those. Okay. So I think I've probably given you enough to go on now that you've got an idea of where it's going to head. And this is not too far from the original. I know we've changed the middle a little bit, but if I actually open this up, let's have a little look. You see I did write teacher top on. Look, you've got your clock in the middle. We've changed this little bit in the middle slightly, but you've got all your patterns, you've got your flowers. So there's this one, look. And here, look, we've got these leaves. We've changed it slightly, working our way down. Look, our berries here, this little shape, look, and then across we've got that really big flower with those curves coming out. There you go. Oh, working our way up. So we've still got all the foliage in. We've got the little leaf look there. And of course you've got that flower at the top again, slightly different, but we did it compared to what we'd got at the time. So I don't think we're too far off. Okay, I say I've changed the shape slightly of the little piece in the middle, but we always knew that was going to be a little bit different, and I think this one's going to have more of an impact than this one. But yeah, and I did put the numbers around there, but of course I'm not worried about that at all there, but you can sort of add to it if you want to. So with that all done and said, I will get this one finished, and as soon as I have, I'll get it put onto Facebook so you can see it. what I would love you to do, please, is if you get these finished over the Christmas period, and if you actually post them on Facebook, that would be absolutely wonderful. I'd really appreciate that. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed spending some time with me, and have fun with this one. And yeah, don't try and make it look the same as mine. If yours is a bit different, that's absolutely fine. The main thing is, if you've got a clock in the middle and you've got flowers around the outside, you're all good to go. So, all right, have a wonderful time, everybody, and I will see you again in probably a week's time, because we're not going to do tiles next week. We're going to have a bit of a break, and then we'll be back, I think, is it the 2nd of January, the Tuesday? So, yeah, of course, thank you, Rose. And if you're around tomorrow and you've got nothing to watch, then Sewing Street and Hobby Maker tomorrow, I will be there. So, okay. Oh, Dobby's going to be there as well in his new trousers. So, okay, have a good one, everybody, and I will see you on the other side. All right, take care. Bye.